Hello there. This is only going to be a short one, and I just wanted to say to people that you want to be very careful about whose advice you take, who you listen to. In the case of Janet Yellen, she was formerly the head of the Federal Reserve in America, and now she's working for the Biden government. Now, all you have to really do is look at what's said and what they actually do, or what is actually happening. So, someone describes a situation and say, "Oh, the sun is shining. Look, it's great. Everything's fine." And you look out of the window and you see actually it's raining. When you're in those situations, that's immediately when you should stop trusting people. If you look at Janet Yellen's record in the past, she is either deliberately gaslighting people or she is completely incompetent. Personally, I think she's just gaslighting people. There's very little actually that the financial secretary can do in the States to change the situation. In fact, there's a limited amount that the Federal Reserve can do. The only thing they can do is control the interest rates or print extra money. They're very, very limited in what they can do. So we're now in a situation where all over the world, the banks are in big trouble. They borrowed money at cheap rates, and now they have to pay it back. And they need to borrow more money. They're now having to borrow at much higher rates, and you've also got huge amounts of defaults with credit cards, with car loans, and you're starting to see problems in the commercial property market, and beginning to emerge in the domestic property market as well, because interest rates are absolutely killing everyone. So they don't want to admit it, but the American government, the Chinese government, whatever government around the world, they really don't want to admit there's any problems, because they're worried about panic, they're worried about bank runs. That if they actually tell you the truth and say, yeah, the economy's shagged and all the banks are in serious trouble, they're all completely over leveraged, they've lent out money to people that they shouldn't have done, irresponsible lending, there's going to be a lot of defaults, and they don't have enough assets to cover their liabilities. If they actually admit the truth, that will cause mass panic. So, of course, Janet Yellen and Powell in the Fed, they're lying to us. They want to keep everything as calm, and, as these banks collapse, they want to spread it out over a long period of time, spread it out so that it doesn't look too bad. If they all start falling like dominoes, that will cause mass panic and bank runs, which will end up with a repeat of 1929, which they're desperately trying to avoid, because if they can bail out the banks one at a time, they can just about manage that with their paltry fund. But if all the banks start to go at once, that will basically bankrupt their emergency fund and bankrupt or any national economy where the banks fail at once. So whether it's Britain, whether it's China, whether it's America, it's really a game of sort of trying to hoodwink the public to maintain confidence. So in the case of China, they've really borrowed money off themselves. These banks have borrowed off the government, whereas in the case of America, they borrowed off the Federal Reserve, which is a private company. Who knows who actually owns that? They don't publish that information. But it's very serious for all of these financial institutions that have irresponsibly lent out money to people that don't have the ability to pay it back. It was a lot easier when interest rates were close to zero. It's very easy to service your debt. But we look at where interest rates on credit cards are now. They're at 20%, even 30% in some cases. And when you've got national inflation rates, which are, you know, 10% or more in many cases. Again, they're understating, they're lying about inflation, of course, as well. They're artificially propping up the stock market and trying to artificially suppress the price of commodities and precious metals such as gold. Because the last thing they want is you to take all your money out and purchase gold bars or coins or silver or some other commodity, be it like shares in copper mines, etc., instead of putting it in the bank where they want it to be. So coming down the line, there is the plan to digitalize everything, the central bank digital currencies, which will tie in with the WHO's future plans, which will come into force in about 6 months' time if national governments don't raise their objections to it. So, these people, they have vested interests in concealing the truth from you. So be aware when politicians, media pundits, officials in the financial area of the government or within the financial industry tell you a load of gumph that doesn't make sense. The reason it doesn't make sense is because it's all lies. It's all designed to hoodwink you, to stop you from actually realizing what is going on and taking actions that they don't want you to take. Sure, if a few people take their money out, what does it matter? It's not a big deal. But imagine everybody across the world becomes aware of how precarious the financial system is and starts trying to take their money into a safe haven. What effect will that have? It will absolutely destroy the world economy almost overnight. So it's really much a game of emperor's new clothes. Everyone's trying to tell everyone how great the emperor's clothes look, when the reality is that the emperor's naked. A few people are shouting out and going, "Hey, look at him, he's got no clothes on." And, the Janet Yellens of this world are going, "Oh, no, don't listen to that. He's got a lovely, lovely, shiny suit on. Isn't it beautiful?" It's just gaslighting. So my suggestion to you is go and look into these things for yourself. Don't listen to her or other pundits or other people that are being sort of broadcast all across the mainstream. They do not have your best interests at heart. So that's all I've got to say for now. Thanks for listening. Please give a like if you enjoyed the video and feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.